Hello and welcome to this week's Football Talk podcast as I scare Josh. It's episode 136. Wow, we are carrying this on. Who would have thought that?
Pretty dragging this out.
Yeah. I'm your host, I'm Dave. Welcome. This is your chance to sit back, get yourself comfortable and relax as we talk to you and bring you up to date on this week's football. We're going to talk news. I'm going to get my brain challenged in a quiz. We review the weekend's Premier League football that's happened so far, and I get to send Josh an unsolicited wiki pick. So if that sounds like something you're going to enjoy, then sit back, enjoy, drop us a like and subscribe. Now, all over to my friend in the UK, Mr. Josh, sir. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Dave. Lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you, yeah. Feeling better?
I'm feeling better. Are you feeling better? You're the one who was on, was up against it, but we wanted to make sure your health is priority.
Thank you, yeah. I am feeling better. So, yeah, very much so.
Excellent. What's happened in your week then, Dave? Has it been a good week for you? No? Okay, great. Let's move on.
Yeah, moving on. No, not really. It's been all right. Not too bad. Nothing too much football related, really. I guess Europa
Did you manage
League.
to play golf this week?
A virtual golf. I've not been out to play actual golf, so yeah. It's been a bit hit and miss the golf recently. Not too much booked in. I'm playing Wednesday and Friday though, so.
Okay, that's all right. Yeah, 2 weeks tomorrow. It opens up in the UK, which will be X.
When can you book? When can you book a tea time?
I'm not sure actually. I think probably tomorrow actually, because we're being a member of the club, we can get 2 weeks in advance. So I think it'll be something. But we're booked in for the Saturday the 3rd to play a little bit. So
Nice.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Excellent. How's your week been?
Pretty good, mate. Feeling great. Feeling alive. And watching some football.
Cracking start that. Feeling alive. Yeah. So
Feeling alive. Yeah. Watching European football this week.
yeah, did you enjoy it?
I did. I think I kind of took it for granted that the kind of the stage that Spurs are at. 'Cause Spurs haven't been great in the Europa League or UEFA Cup in my lifetime. I think the first we've got are the next round of quarterfinals. So, but it was a big match, Zagreb, and I think we did a really professional job. It was quite a calm, relaxing match to watch. It was enjoyable.
Excellent. Very nice. Yeah, Man United was not so much.
No, a little bit disappointing that.
Yeah, I think it was very much we weren't creating very much, so Ollie got a bit nervous. You can sort of understand. Went to shut up shop, bought on another holding midfielder, sat back a little bit, and didn't really work out. It was a great header from Simon Kjaer. I mean, Henderson should have saved it. Definitely should have saved it.
Yeah. There's been a bit of flack around that. His hands down by when it's coming in for a header. His hands down by his side, have them up high.
Yeah, it was all a bit
it wasn't great.
slow-mo when it went in. But a lovely goal from Amid Diallo for his first for the club.
That was a nice goal. Not a goal you see often.
No, I can only remember one other, and that was Javier Hernandez versus Chelsea. Chicharito.
It was, yeah.
The old,
Speaking of something you don't often see, there was an incident in the Spurs match which I'm not sure I've ever seen. Okay, I don't, you probably wouldn't have seen this, but it was a low cross into the box, in kind of the corridor of uncertainty. A term that doesn't really get used that much anymore, but I'm bringing it back.
Yeah.
And so typically in that situation, the keeper either stays his line and the defender will clear, or the keeper will come out at the feet of players and collect it. The Zagreb keeper, who will be Croatia's number one in the Euros, leathered it. Just stepped out and put his foot through it and punched out onto the halfway line. I was like, well, I've never seen that before.
Well, why not though? Efficient, isn't it?
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, David. And linking back to Man United goalkeepers, I think David De Gea obviously wasn't in goal during the week, but he's probably one of the most highest users of feet in saves, isn't he?
Yeah, I was going to say foot-friendly goalkeeper.
Yes, yeah. Because you often see a keeper, and say the shot's right at him, his feet will be on the ground where he could have moved to save it, but instead he'll try and get his body down in the same time, and it goes under him. He's like, well,
yeah,
use your feet.
Use
your feet.
Very true,
but yeah, so it wasn't great for United during the week. Spurs obviously 2-0, no away goals, and Harry Kane. Harry Kane is just something else. Honestly, he is something else. And the talk now is around him getting 2 goals in that match doesn't really fill me with that much joy because I'm wanting him to break records, and there's no real record for him to break in the Europa League. So not a major record. Like
Yeah.
I'm thinking Alan Shearer, Wayne Rooney. I want him to get both those records.
Okay.
The talk is now, obviously, I think he's 101 goals away from Alan Shearer. He's got 159 Premier League goals, and I can't wait for that
He's
day
what?
to arrive.
23, 4?
Oh no, you added more. You got to add some more years to that. He's 26, probably 27 in the summer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he wants to keep playing until he's like 40. He obviously keeps himself in fine fettle. He's not going to be a Wayne Rooney and start collapsing physically under his own weight at that point. Maybe his injuries may take its toll, but he's already adapting his game to be something different. I'm so excited to see.
Well, it's interesting you say that, actually, because I think Harry Kane has gone from all out goal score, like all he did was score. When he first burst on the scene, all he did was score goals, and now he's sort of adapted it to be everything, complete forward. I would say, hold it up, score goals, win headers, run into channels, chase the ball.
I can't. Can you think of a more complete forward than him?
Not right now. No. Not right now. But I think, like, where does the evolution go back to just being, when he gets slightly older, being the person that puts the ball in the back of the net?
Well, I think it's all about what's in recent memory of forwards, and it's all about changing it up. So he'll have a season like this, okay?
Yeah.
And so therefore defenders next season will start thinking, oh, Harry Kane's going to drop off and spray passes. So he's got in their heads, and so he can switch it up again and go, and then have a bit of a stint just being the number 9 rather than somewhat a kind of number 10, I suppose he is at the moment. And he has that. By doing that, he's keeping the defenders guessing. If he keeps doing the same thing, defenders will kind of come wise to it, and he'll maybe have someone literally tracking him throughout. And it's just he's just adding these facets to the game, which means he's harder to manage in the game.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Talking of Spurs strikers, Parrott Watch, how's he doing out on loan?
His loan went from Millwall, recalled in Championship, and then back out loan to Ipswich in League One.
Oh, so is the bet now Ipswich?
That's null and void. That's null and void. That bet.
Unbelievable.
No, he's not been great. I'm not sure. I don't even know if he's got any goals. Honest, haven't seen that pop up in my news feed. But he's not been great for him.
Because in Football Manager, he basically becomes the next Harry Kane, and I was like, I don't see that in him. So.
No, I don't think he's had. And it's in this season, it's been about Dane Scarlett. So Dane Scarlett's 16-year-old. He unfortunately he almost got a goal in the second leg against Lask, I think it was, or I can't remember who it was in our previous round. But he put pressure on the defender, won the ball, and the ball was about to roll past, and he'd be able to whip it in. But Vinicius was coming from the other angle and kicked it off his toes. He gets an assist, the youngest player to get an assist or something.
Yeah.
That's what all the excitement's been around Dane Scarlett. He's just all action. He's super quick, scores goals for fun at youth level, so I think that's where the excitement is at the moment.
Excellent. Nice. Good.
Yeah. What else do we have? We had Arsenal, comfortable win, albeit with 3 away goals conceded first, I think it was, but went draw level, I think it was 3-1 Olympiacos. Slavia Prague, Rangers 1-1. It's okay, but I'd say probably your result's probably the weakest of a lot. I'd say having an away goal conceded, but
playing the strongest team with a lot though. I'd say out of all the English teams getting drawn.
Probably, I'd say it looks like that, but I don't think it was the best side on paper, was it? It was quite a depleted side. Yeah,
true. Yeah. So I guess worth touching on Rangers wrapping up the Scottish title nice and early.
Done. Yeah, will they have now then? Yeah, I'm intrigued to see how they fare in the Europa League because of that. I mean, does that keep them focused on this? Does it mean that they are, kind of relaxed because they feel like they've won now? I don't know how do you reckon that will affect their Europa League mindset.
I mean, in theory, it should focus it because you are, as a player, you would probably be able to go to the manager and say, I think we've won the league. Give me this Sunday afternoon off so that I'm fit for the Thursday, or play me on the and I'll. Play me 90 minutes on the Thursday and rest me on the Sunday if I've got a little niggle or something. Yeah, I think in my head it will focus them. It should focus them.
Yeah. So. I fear it may kind of rest on their laurels and go and pat themselves on the back. But it was nice to see Jermaine Defoe get a bit of silverware. Yeah. I think his first bit of silverware because he managed to absolutely shaft himself when Spurs won the League Cup and Portsmouth won the FA Cup. He left Spurs who won the League Cup and then joined Portsmouth Cup tied and couldn't win the FA Cup. So I think this might be his first bit of silverware, which is nice for him.
Wow, that's an interesting one, yeah.
Yeah, if we have Champions League football, Liverpool. I mean, the light relief of the from the league, their European football. It was, because obviously we didn't speak last week. It's been pretty bad for Liverpool over some weeks, and we also would have touched on United's win over City, would we?
No, fantastic, really. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. I mean, I said to a lot of people, I think we'll get something from the game. We always do against City. You
have got City's number. I'm not quite sure what happens. But something happens, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a classic. They come and attack us, so it gives us an opportunity to actually counter-attack them, and it was a very interesting game. You
just do seem to always start your fastest three forwards in those matches and go, right, let's just keep them up there and prey on that.
Yeah, but it was a really good game. Yeah, really good game. I don't want to dwell too much on that. It was a long.
No, it will go back. So I'm on Champions League football. Obviously, you have Juventus out. That's 3 seasons for Ronaldo. If you look back on that, I think, is that one of the worst decisions he's made in his career, moving to Juventus?
No, I don't think so.
He missed out on the 3. Obviously, you don't know how it's going to happen if Ronaldo was there. They may not have won those 3 Champions Leagues in a row. Real Madrid, that is. But he's got to probably think that they would have done, and he's missed out on that.
Yeah, but I think I don't know. He won the Champions League with Madrid, didn't he? So.
Well, yeah, he has won the Champions League with Madrid.
And he won the league. He won the Champions League. He won the league in England. I don't think he regrets it.
There's no lack of it whatsoever. It's just that there could have been more, and it just hasn't worked out. Juventus, has it really? In terms of winning, that's what Juventus' gamble was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They signed him to win the Champions League, but
I'd say more Juventus might be disappointed than he might be disappointed. I think he'd just see it as a trophy. Yeah, okay, he hasn't won it at Juventus, but he's won the league and stuff. So it did fuel the fire though for a return to Man United, apparently. Because
I've seen returns to Real Madrid mentioned as well.
Yeah, so it'll be very interesting to see what happens there. Because normally when it's sort of this sort of early rumours and it's more than one club, it's normally something that stokes the fire and gets it going. Obviously, he's on extortionate wages that I'm sure Juventus will want to remove from their wage bill. So yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what happens there. Did you have more Champions League chat or?
Just PSG through. Well done, Pochettino. And Borussia Dortmund, Haaland smashing the record for quickest player to 20 goals.
Yeah.
Like obliterating it. It was Harry Kane with 24 games previously. Haaland does it in 14.
Yeah.
Like he's had 14 games, only 2 he hasn't scored in.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. But
welcome to Man City.
Yeah, it seems that way, doesn't it? It's annoying. It does seem that way. The only other news I had, I know that you tweeted about it on the Football Talk account, was Joachim Löw, however you pronounce his name. Yeah, saying he's going to leave after the Euros. He thanks DFB, Polka, or whatever they're called in Germany, for their support and all that, the German Federation. I'm trying to be smart. I'll just say German FA. And then you were like, oh, is this mean Klopp's going to come out? And then Klopp, within hours, basically shunned your tweet and was like, no, I'm not.
I obviously would do, but I mean, I'm not necessarily saying Klopp to Germany, but I mean, Hansi Flick, obviously, at Bayern, would Bayern then go for Klopp? I think they've always admired him. I just think there'll be, because Germany will appoint a German coach.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. And typically, the German coaches are within the Bundesliga as well. Yeah. So, I mean, Klopp's outside of that. There could be ramifications, but it wouldn't surprise me if you went Hansi Flick Germany, Nagelsmann Bayern. It's how I could easily see as well, which would make me a bit sad. Cause...
See, I can just cut out the middleman and go Nagelsmann straight to Germany. Give him a long project. Give him a long...
Oh, he wouldn't want that.
No, you think he's too young and he's...
You don't want... He's younger than us, Dave.
Don't say that. That's just offensive.
Yeah. You don't want to be getting a national team job. I mean, it's been super weird. He's got to be one of the longest standing national managers, like of a top level national side for, like, you've got to be up there with Joachim Löw, isn't he? Because he's been their manager for goodness knows how long. I can't remember the previous manager.
No, that's true.
He's always been there. Yeah. So... Picking his nose, scratching his bum.
Sniffing his armpit. I remember all of that.
Yeah.
But any other news then before we move on?
The big news, Dave.
The big news.
what his whole podcast is titled.
Oh, yeah, I thought we might build that into... But Sheffield United haven't played yet, have they? Of course they haven't.
No.
So Chris Wilder's gone. Yeah.
Sad faces, I'd say, in Sheffield.
Yeah. Yeah, in Sheffield. Yeah, I think there will be in Sheffield. But I think if you look at it objectively, under neutral eyes, a lack of funds was the rumours that were doing the round. Lack of funds and a difference in direction for a mutual consent. Can you really complain about a lack of funds when you've spent £20 million on Ryan Brewster?
Yeah, I had a look at this because I was like, lack of funds. I thought, I mean, so one, they spent 50 million, I think, on strikers. So they got Ryan Brewster, William McBurney, and Lise Mousset. So two of them were signed the season before, and Ryan Brewster signed in the summer. How many goals have those three strikers scored this season, Dave?
None.
One.
There you go.
One goal from £50 million. So that's not great. You mean...
Well,
Ollie Watkins was available, Callum Wilson was available. I think would be more viable options than getting someone untested in the Premier League.
Every time I watch a Sheffield United game, Dave McGoldrick's starting up front.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think that's why. I think...
And then the other bit of recruitment, I think, is Aaron Ramsdale. Horrific. And you look at Fulham, who loaned Areola. You got Emi Martinez to Villa. You've got Melier to Leeds. You got, Joe Hart even. I don't think Joe Hart would have done any worse on free than Ramsdale has done for 20 million.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
So
I just think the recruitment's been poor, and he can tell that because he's just stuck with players he knows. He's not, and they've had some injuries. Fleck and O'Connell have been injured. It hasn't helped, but my concern would be for Wilder for his next job is because they seemingly fell out about director of football being introduced and the transfer record, and so I don't think he's really proved himself at spending big money wisely. Whether he didn't get a say in the transfers, I don't know, but they're not his players. But it's not a good picture at the moment.
No, it's not, and I think you're right. I think there will be sad faces all around Sheffield.
He took from League One to the Premier League and had a great Premier League season last year. It's a shame it's ended like this, almost a damp squib of a season. Doesn't look like there's no fight to give, is there? He got ripped away from him so early on. It's just like you can fight all you want, but you'll just be flailing there. It's not. There's no way it's going to happen. Is
it going to be back-to-back relegations for Ramsdale and Mousset? They both signed.
Mousset was there last year.
Oh, was it? Oh, yeah, okay.
A couple of goals, yeah. But Ramsdale will be back-to-back relegations, and it won't happen again. Relegated from Premier League for him because he won't be a Premier League goalkeeper.
Agreed. That should draw a line under his Premier League career forever. So
yeah, until he's winning the league with a top four club as a homegrown talent.
Yeah,
in about 10 years' time.
Man City hollering at you.
Yeah, Wilder's next job. Any thoughts initially?
Not in the Premier League. It'll be Championship at best. So
Scottish Premier League, Celtic.
Oh, that's I keep forgetting they haven't actually appointed anyone yet. Yeah, that could be. Yeah. That could be a good shout. Yeah.
He's a good man. He had such a great record before this. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Premier League club sniffing around. Crystal Palace are obviously in need of someone, but again, I think that's a bit of a rebuild which involves transfers, which I'm not sure Wilder's proved himself to be adept at. But what
about when Big Sam goes for his knee surgery so that he doesn't get a relegation on his CV? Chris Wilder to take over at West Brom and bring them back up?
No, they obviously promote a head of under 18s or something and just tarnish their managerial career forever by having them relegated.
Yeah, okay.
Kind of Darren Moore had it. I think Terry O'Connor had it. I think Scott Parker had it. Scott Parker's the one that survived. That poison chalice. But yeah. I don't think any reputable manager is going to be getting that West Brom job.
No, okay.
But will Big Sam stay with him in the Championship?
I think he will. I think he'll give it a go in the Championship. Yeah,
cool.
Unless he does this whole knee surgery thing so that he doesn't get relegated. I think. Yeah. Otherwise, he's just getting a weekly salary and he wouldn't care, would he? I still think he's a passionate man. I think he'll try and. But the flip side of it is that if they do go down and he stays and within a month or two they're not getting the results, then he'll go. He'll just walk. But yeah, I think if he gets relegated with him, I think he'll stay. If his contract, he did get a 2-year contract.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what his contract was actually. Yeah.
Yeah, if his contract allows it, then he'll stay. I think so. Yeah.
All right. Okay, that's all my news, Dave.
All right, let's move on then, Josh. Let's go to the quiz.
Ooh, la 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 la. It's quizzing time. And this quiz is titled Cotton Eye Joe because I wanted to know, where did they come from?
Where do they go?
Where did they come from?
Cotton Eye Joe.
Yeah.
Talk me through it then. What do you mean?
So these are a list of 10 current Premier League players, and I've left it to you to work out what their current Premier League club is. But I would like you to tell me what club they were signed from.
Oh, wow. I'm immediately drawn to Jack Cork and forgot he was in the Premier League.
Okay, so I'll quickly run down the list of players so people can get their thought juices flowing. So we've got Granit Xhaka, Jack Cork, Cesar Azpilicueta, Scott Dan, Andre Gomez, Yuri Tillemans, Sergio Romero, Joe Linton, Eric Lamela and Willy Bolly. I want to know where they came from. So let's start at number 1. Obviously, we all know Arsenal's central midfield maestro, who managed to thwack it against Chris Wood the other week. Granit Xhaka, where did he come from?
Granit Xhaka, he signed from the Bundesliga.
Okay, yeah. I'll lead you down the right garden path there.
And who was it? We're going to come back to him.
We're going to come back to that. Okay, right. Great start from Dave. Yeah. Rip-roaring start. So, as Dave just mentioned, Jack Cork, forgot he existed. Do you know where he exists at?
Burnley,
yes. Where did he come from?
I want to say... I was going to say Swansea, but I think it might be Chelsea. No, I'm going to go Swansea.
It is Swansea. Yeah. Well done. And you know what? In looking through this, and correct me if I'm wrong, any Burnley fans listening, I think Burnley have signed one player from a non-British club in their Premier League history.
Wow.
And I think if you looked at their scouting network, I'd say they probably, and this was from I think it was from Belgium as well. So they've obviously got people in the UK and have got maybe give them a Eurostar ticket every kind of once a month and let them go over to Belgium, and it was Stefan Defour.
I was just thinking that.
Only player I think I've seen they've signed from abroad. If anyone can think of anyone else in Premier League history they've signed from abroad, this is it's only up into their recent stint. I haven't gone in through to when they first came up with like Robbie Blake and things like that. But I doubt they were tapping up European or worldwide markets at that point either.
Oh yeah.
All right. So number 3, Cesar Azpilicueta, also known as Dave in his early days.
Yeah. At Chelsea, obviously.
At Chelsea, the right-sided centre-back of a back 3.
I'm going Real Sociedad.
Real Sociedad, Dave, for 0 points.
Oh, balls. Well, we'll come back to that for a possible half a point.
Come back to that for a half. Okay.
So Scott Dan.
We have Scott Dan. Also the relegator. We spoke about Ramsdale getting relegated. We have Scott Dan has been relegated a few times from Premier League. Where did he come from, Dave?
Well, he's currently at Crystal Palace, if I remember rightly.
Crystal Palace, correct, yeah.
I think they got him from Birmingham.
Incorrect, Dave.
Oh, for God's sake. He's definitely played for Birmingham, hasn't he?
No? I'm willing to give anything away, Dave, in case I lead you to the right answer.
Okay, well, I swear Scott Dan was signed from Palace for Birmingham. For Palace from Birmingham.
I think you're right. No, I've just checked. You're right, because he had back-to-back relegations, and so relegated with Birmingham, signed by said club, relegated with them, signed for Crystal Palace. So I've. Okay,
I'll come back to him for a half later.
Okay. All right, Andre Gomez. Who is he, Dave? Tell me about Andre Gomez.
And Everton central midfielder, lovely hair, luscious hair.
Great hair. Yeah.
Really good footballer, actually. Just a bit unlucky with injuries, I'd say. I quite liked Andre Gomez.
Just not very mobile. I mean, that sums up the Everton midfield.
Yeah,
I think I could beat most of the Everton midfield in the race.
Yeah, very true. Andre Gomez was signed from... I mean... I can picture him in a Benfica shirt, so I'm going Benfica.
Incorrect, Dave.
For God's sake, this quiz is killing me.
You're struggling to get 50% here, Dave.
I know. We'll come back to him for half later.
We'll come back to half. Okay, number 6. Obviously, we'll know this one is a famous name. I say famous inside football. Yuri Tielemans, the Belgian centre attacking midfielder for Leicester City. What are we going here, Dave? Where did he come from? Anderlecht, 0 points. Unlucky Dave.
No way. Are you joking me?
I'm not joking, yeah.
Oh, I forgot. Who did he move from? Anderlecht 2. And then who did they...
I think you're just remembering the club before.
Yeah.
Like, you're remembering 2 back for so many of these. Right, this is number 7. Sergio Romero, the Argentinian goalkeeper of your beloved club. And you've had questions about Man United before, and you've not fared well. And you couldn't name Wayne Rooney was your club's top scorer. But Sergio Romero, where did he come from?
I think he came...
I put a 0 or a 1 on Excel to calculate this. My finger is hovering over 0, unfortunately. Dave.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. I'm not surprised. I'm going to go... I swear it was Italy. I swear it was Syria that he came from. I don't... Oh... Lazio
for 0 points. Keep it moving. Come back for a half.
This is unbelievable.
Right. Our friend and yours, Joseph Linton. Joe Linton from Newcastle, the £40 million forward with 3 Premier League goals to his name. Where did he come from?
It's the Bundesliga, right? It's the Bundesliga.
Great work.
It's either Hertha Berlin or Hoffenheim, and they both wear blue and white. But Hoffenheim were better, so I'm going to go Hoffenheim.
My goodness gracious me. 1 point for Dave.
Yes.
That's 2 out of 7 so far. 2 out of 8, sorry. We'll move on.
Unbelievable.
To the player who is yet to complete a pass with his right foot this season. It is Eric Lamela. That's a true fact, by the way. It's not a made-up fact.
Really?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. Scored more goals than he has passed with his right foot.
That's incredible. That's ridiculous. That is actually ridiculous. Well, obviously, Spurs. He plays for Spurs right now.
Spurs, yeah, Argentinian.
I'm pretty confident that I know this one because I used to sign him from them on early Football Managers.
Let me guess. Dave's gone one before it. Isn't he's about to name an Argentinian side?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
Serie A. In fact, probably one of my favourite teams in Serie A.
Really?
AS Roma.
AS Roma, yes, correct, Dave.
Come on. Oh.
Now we have a hilarious name, Bolly. Willy Bolly, the imposing centre-back for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Absolute beast of a player, actually. Where did he come from?
I have no idea where they signed Willy Bolly from. Porto.
Well, that's feedback. Oh, it's Porto.
Is it Porto? How did I remember that out of nothing?
I don't know, but you've absolutely hacked your way to a 40% mark here. You just need 2 right answers for the previous.
Granit Xhaka.
Granit, are we going back over it right now, or do you want to go to a little bit of reviews and we'll come back to this? Like the good old days, we used to revisit the quiz, didn't we?
Yeah, all right. We'll revisit the quiz. Quiz. Right.
Remind us, people. Let's revisit the quiz. Right.
There's a comment in the chat. Is Dave drunk while attempting this quiz? Right, so we're reviewing the games.
We are reviewing. Let's go to the James Milner derby first up. And I've mentioned Joe Linton. Actually had a quite good game this year. This game actually imposed himself on Tyrone Mings, but it was 1-1. Newcastle unbeaten in 3.
Yeah, they are. There was something, you've just reminded me, something I wanted to mention to you about Tyrone Mings. When Joe Linton absolutely tore him down the right-hand side, completely outpaced him, you saw what sort of defender Tyrone Mings is there, because he had no intention of going for the ball. He just wanted to shoulder bars Joe Linton off the pitch, and it meant that Joe Linton could get around him, where if he defended it properly like a good centre-back, he would have stopped him cutting in. So, yeah, there we go. We have proof now.
That is why I don't like Tyrone Mings.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to stay up out of choice until 4 a.m. to watch Newcastle v Aston Villa. So I just didn't watch it. I watched the highlights. It didn't look too bad, actually. It looked all right. We were talking offline about favourite goals of the weekend, and we both agreed on what goal that was. It wasn't in this game. But I did say I really enjoyed Jamal Lascelles' header. A nice near-post power header. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, so, he's got faith in his heading ability doing that, hasn't he? He's like, yes, I am going to...
Yeah, exactly. Just like that, Josh. That's why you didn't play centre-back. So,
I'm not sure I've ever headed a ball, actually. Not even a joke. Not sure
I've definitely seen you head a ball, I reckon. I mean,
actually,
more the ball hit your face, but...
Yeah, do you know what? I've got a vivid memory of at school, and I can't remember what it was like. It was like Inter-House or something like that, and I was playing up front with Nick Goldup. Shout Nick Goldup, and I was obviously the big target man for because he was incredibly good at football.
Yeah.
I remember when we first got to secondary school and I saw him play football. I was like, well, he's the greatest person I've ever seen play football. He's fantastic. But I went to actually chest the ball down and I just caught it flush in my face.
That's brilliant.
It stunned me so much. I was like, oh my god. Oh. The ball did actually come under my control, but I was too stunned to do anything with it. But yeah, I just completely misjudged the fly of it.
Unbelievable.
And wore it in the face. But yes, let's go back to Newcastle, Aston Villa. So Newcastle, 3 draws the last 3. It's not what they need, but it's definitely better than 0 points in the last 3.
True.
Joe Cole, we spoke about Joe Cole before about how horrific he is at punting. He was trying to give Steve Bruce credit here for getting a point, and it's like, oh, why are you doing this, Joe Cole? Joe Cole's a horrific pundit, horrific,
terrible.
But you know, what are you thinking about Newcastle at the moment? It's Newcastle aren't actually the kind of the side that are right there, and it's actually Brighton now who are kind of the ones that look in trouble because of games in hand. But Newcastle, are you feeling that they've got something to do? They can get themselves out of it, or
I think out of the way everyone's playing at the moment, I just don't think Newcastle will quite have enough. I think they could go down.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think...
Well, they've got their... I mean, any side loses their front 3 is going to struggle. So losing Wilson, Joelinton, Almiron... not Joelinton, Alan Saint-Maximin. It's going to be tough. It really is going to be very tough for them.
And you look at... Yeah, Brighton aren't doing too much, but I think there's some tough games for Brighton that they'll get points out of. They'll get a point here and there. They'll pick up some points as they go. And I think some of the lower teams Brighton have got to play, they have the ability to swap them aside if they do it right, but it's just if they can put the ball in the back of the net. And Fulham are just on a huge upturn at the moment and doing well. Is that as good as it's getting? Is that upturn now? We're going to regress back to the norm? I don't think so. I mean, I don't know what Fulham's fixture list looks like for a bit of the run.
Leeds, Villa, Wolves, and Arsenal next 4. Then Chelsea next. Newcastle's upcoming matches are. I didn't realise this. Brighton v Newcastle next Saturday, 8:00 kickoff.
Big game. Big game.
0-0 draw.
Yeah.
Then they've got Spurs, Burnley, and West Ham. Then Liverpool. Then Arsenal. Then Leicester. Then Man City. Oh God.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a great run-in.
That's where the interest is going to come. We've got a top 4 battle and a relegation battle still in hand. But I think Aston Villa are fading themselves away from a top 4 battle. I was looking, and they won the first 4 games of the season, and it was all rosy. They've just been pretty inconsistent ever since then. They've picked up wins, but they've not won back-to-back games since those first 4.
Yeah.
They've only ever won 1 game. You know, 1 loss, 1 draw. It's been inconsistent at best. I think.
Yeah. So
it's solid defence. But yeah.
What do you think about Newcastle, like relegation? Do you reckon they're down? Do you reckon they're going to go, or do you reckon Fulham will go into a bit of a downturn? Brighton will go down.
I don't know. I would say it. I think Bruce has got them now. I think Brighton might just get sucked into it. I just got a horrible feeling that it looked they play quite nice football. They've not been that enigmatic doing anything really. Newcastle ground some results out. I just feel like Brighton are going to get sucked into it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
All right. We'll move on to the Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank derby.
What a player. What a man. What a striker. I was always a big fan of Jimmy Floyd. He could hit it really hard.
Oh yeah, both feet just absolutely leather it.
And how good would Chelsea have appreciated having him up front today?
Oh, boring Chelsea really is just so boring.
Yeah, you're not enjoying it, are you? Really, with Chelsea?
No,
So
I mean, they've really tightened up a defence, which I think maybe your fans will be happy about, but from outside looking in, it's like I see some fans making excuses saying, "Oh, the front three haven't really played together." It's like, oh, come on, we're in mid-March. Let's not.
yeah, and that was
say
the same. That's not an excuse because Lampard was doing the same because they just couldn't find a front three that worked.
These aren't January signings. These are players who've been there since August and have time to gel. And
Yeah.
yes, it may be different combinations, but come on,
Yeah.
it's not good enough up front.
I don't see why. What I mean, if I was the Chelsea manager with the array of players you've got, I would probably be picking Giroud as much as it would be uncreative with all the players you've got in, because he gives you the focal point to let those creative players work around him. Your Ziyech's, your Werner's on one wing. You could have Havertz in behind. You could have Kante backing him up. Like, it gives an option and a focal point to hit. And then if you're not using Giroud, use Tammy Abraham, because at least he's tall and athletic and can do a similar job.
He will obviously sorting defence out. You just need to slide that bar up and get a bit more progressive in attack because they're just high possession at the moment. But he will stumble upon or find a working formula up front, and it wouldn't surprise me if it involves something unflattering like a Giroud. And they kind of go through the end of the season with, say, Giroud and some players off him, and then he'll look to kind of work throughout the summer and find something a bit more sexy, utilising the higher priced players. But I mean, they're currently in an okay position. But if teams win their games in hand, they could find themselves in a sixth position, which isn't fantastic.
No, it's not. It's not fantastic when you think that when Frank Lampard got sacked, where they were 7th, 8th, I think, 8th or 7th.
Yeah,
it wasn't too far. It's one of those where I think the points gap was less to the top four, or not quite to the top. Sorry, to the top of the league, or maybe second or something like that. I did read a stat about it, but yeah, it seems one of those that you know what I'm getting at is that
I love Dave's stats. It's kind of like
fact.
I've read a stat. I'll chuck something in which somewhat maybe relates to it, but piece it together, people.
Yeah. Piece it together yourself. It's not.
Yeah, I mean he's done well. I mean we're unbeaten. I think it's what 6 wins, 4 draws, something like that. Obviously, beat Atletico Madrid away. They've got the return fixture this week. I think it is good. I mean, but it's not exciting at the moment.
No,
and it's just kind of quite methodical. But for Leeds, excellent point.
Yeah, really good point for Leeds. I think it looked like Calvin Phillips picked up a knock again early on in the first half because I watched this game, but he sort of battered his way through the rest of the game, and it could have been a Leeds win if it wasn't for an absolutely fantastic save from Eduardo Mendy, where it was going. I think Rafinha put it back across to.
And we dive back across.
Yeah, and then Mendy had to dive back across and got to give the left hand to it. So, yeah, it was. I just don't get with. The thing that annoys me is that when you've got strikers there, Werner can play through the middle. Okay, he's not been great. Giroud can play there. It doesn't fit the system, but he can play there. Abraham has always looked good in fits and starts. You've got players.
I like Abraham. I'm a fan of Abraham. He leads a lot.
But
you
picked Kai Havertz as what everyone assumed was a false 9. But then the interview afterwards, he was like, "Well, he's not a false 9. He can play as a number 9." I was like, "Well, he can't, can he? It's not his role. It's not his position."
Yeah, but it's good to see him. He obviously some green shoots during the midweek and and last weekend. I think he's starting to turn a little bit. Havertz. It's good to see him come to prominence, but obviously that'll be intertwined with Chelsea performing better, which won't suit me. But I like to see good players playing well.
Yeah. Quick question then: is Tuchel trying to be too clever? Do you think, or is he just trying to actually still find the formula?
I think he's just willing to try some things. When you've got a solid defence, you can then try some things up front, see how it works. And I know they're probably going to grab a goal here and there, but he's just trying things out.
Yeah. All right.
I don't think many people predicted 0-0 for that match,
no.
Especially with Leeds defence. Let's go on to the Kevin Phillips derby, Palace versus West Brom. We've spoken a bit about Palace and a bit about West Brom already on this podcast. I don't really want to give this too much time. I mean, it's a definite handball from Furlong.
Yeah.
He leans into his arm, no get out there. But the question I had is that when you look back, you think, why did Big Sam take this job? Like,
it was.
Did you have no other offers?
Weirdly, it was going to be a question I was going to ask you as well. In what? Yeah, it was. It was sort of thankless. I know we've briefly spoken about Big Sam on this episode, but it was sort of like, is it one last big payout? Because they'll be off with his track record of keeping clubs up. He would have been able to negotiate a big salary.
There's no doubt.
Yeah.
I've no doubt. There's probably a big bonus for keeping him up.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Which he's not going to get because they're going to go down. But
that's true. Yeah.
I think if you look at it from both sides, Big Sam has probably gone, I'm not going to take that job unless you pay me X amount. And West Brom have gone, our best chance of survival is to pay you X amount.
Because I think a lot of people had hoped that he would at that point.
No, I don't know, because I think a lot of people thought Bilic was harsh to be sacked. I think Big Sam came into that job with quite a lot of animosity because Bilic obviously just got a point away at Man City. And I didn't agree with the sacking at the time. The football wasn't great, but the football still isn't that great. They're just now playing... Well, they're playing good Big Sam football. They're getting used to how he wants to play, but it's not good football.
Yeah, but I mean, ultimately, they were a side promoted too soon. It was going to be a big ask to keep, and for anyone to keep them up. I just think they kind of...
Yeah.
They were a championship side playing in the Premier League, aren't they?
Yeah. I think that's true. And I think that it's similar to Sheffield United in the sense that recruitment has been pretty poor all round. They've done pretty well in January with Maitland-Niles and Diagana, but but he's not a goal scorer. He's a target man to knock it down for someone else to run onto. He's a sort of... You need the Kevin Nolan to be there to sort of run through and put the ball in the back of the net with Big Sam's teams, and West Brom don't seem to have that. And then it's alienated...
No, you saw it yesterday with was it Robinson who just had been knocked down and then just ran it through to the keeper. It's like, oh, that's just those little bits there where Sam would be like, that is bread and butter for Sam football, isn't it?
And then the more flair creative based players have sort of been pushed to the side. So Pereira was this big up and comer at West Brom, and he's now making substitute appearances. So Diagana was the one signed from West Ham, wasn't he? And he's been sort of sidelined a little bit, and so it's all... Yeah, I don't know. I think, there's a good comment there that says the ego of Big Sam, he probably would have gone, this will be my last and I will keep them up sort of thing. And I think it suited all parties at the time, but...
You do have it with, you do question footballers' decisions, but and managers alike being footballers more often than not. They always back themselves, don't they?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. 100%. So I don't disagree with it. But what I did like about this fact is that it was... two ex-managers of those clubs playing each other. So Roy Hodgson managed Crystal Palace and West Brom, and Big Sam's managed both. So both been England manager. So
for a bit, yes.
For a short time, yeah. But I mean, the game itself, like you said, definite penalty, lack of creativity, lack of goal scoring from both teams. Even Zaha looked very quiet coming back from injury.
Yeah. It's another season that Palace are pretty much safe now. I think 37 points. They're not in any relegation battle.
Where do Palace go for a manager? I do think this will be Roy's last season. Where do they go? Who do they go for? If you could think they would be a great manager, not what you think the board will think. If it was your choice, you're in charge, who would you go for? Realistically.
I'd probably pick someone... Ooh, I don't know. I'm wanting to keep him in the Premier League, so I'd probably want another safe pair of hands and someone who's got a good record of signing players.
Get Big Sam in.
It's difficult. I mean, not the answer to your question, but I think Frank Lampard's probably favoured for a job.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow, I would have thought Eddie Howe would have been, in the bookies' terms, more of a favourite than Frank Lampard.
Again, I'm not. He's not got the greatest record of signing players. Signed a lot of Liverpool youth players. I mean, it's similar to Wilder. I mean, Liverpool just pulling the wool over people's eyes and getting them relegated.
True.
Chris
Wilder for Palace.
Yeah. I think if he did that, he'd probably keep a number of players on who are going out of contract.
Yeah,
he could definitely do a job. But we'll see. All right, should we move on to the Paul Gascoigne derby?
Yes, why not?
Everton v Burnley, and Everton's home form again coming back to bite them. Their home form was awful. They've won, winning 8 at home, and that was against Southampton, who were one of the out of form sides
very true.
in the league at the time. Just been pretty abject from them. We have Doucouré out injured before this match, out for like 8 to 10 weeks, which I think is a big loss for them.
Yeah,
I've been a bit more impressed with them this season. didn't talk about myself of being much of a fan of Doucouré, but he just offers a bit of. I said earlier in the podcast, he offers a bit of mobility to that midfield. It's such a lethargic midfield. He's got technically very good. Like Allen's a good defensive midfielder. Gomez is good on the ball. Sigurdsson's good on the ball. Delph. But they're just very immobile. In fact, that whole side. I mean, well, it is a midfield. Like at fullback. Digne is probably the only standout fullback. I think Coleman's on his last legs, and you've had maybe Ben Godfrey playing there. He's got a bit of pace about him, but I think Ben Godfrey sees himself as a centre back. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison offer some pace, but really I think that midfield just lacks that mobility if Doucouré's out, and I think they're going to be struggling now. I think they'll struggle to get European football now.
Yeah, I think they could as well. I think it's been pinpointed. Goalkeeper's a situation where. I think I don't necessarily see them signing a goalkeeper in the summer, but I think that will be the moment when Olsen takes over from Pickford if they make his loan move permanent for Olsen.
I just think when you sign a goalkeeper on big money, you really tie your hands. He doesn't have a good game because you can't really rotate a goalkeeper in.
True.
You sign a forward for big money. You can kind of maybe comes on late and gets a goal and keeps that kind of. In ticking, and if you haven't got any cup competitions to play in, that goalkeeper doesn't really feature, does he? And so
true.
You have the Pickford situation. Pickford's done a lot better. I mean, I'm not sure it's correlation, maybe not causation, but longer haired Pickford's done a bit better. He's had some good games.
Yeah, true. What I love about Pickford is he puts 100% effort into trying to save the ball even when he's got no chance. Like the goal from the Dwight McNeil goal, which was our goal of the week, which we were chatting, goal of the weekend, which we were chatting offline, was like. That was top corner, like what a strike. And he still flew through the air, arms up, fully stretched. It was like, fully stretched. And it was a cracking dive. It would be one of those ones, Josh, where it's the sort of dive where he'd get a fingertip to it normally and it would still go in and ruin it. So
yeah, but I appreciate the fact that he dives, actually.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know. Would you prefer, if you have a really, I like both actually. Like if it's a despairing dive and the keeper doesn't get there, but I also like it sometimes when the keeper's rooted to the spot and is just watching it. Like the kind of when you say, okay, here's a question, Dave.
Yeah.
Keeper rooted to the spot because it's an absolute outstanding goal. What goal do you think of?
An absolute belter hit with power.
Yeah. Who by? Do you see? What did you think? Picture a goal in your head when that?
Paul Scholes edge of the area against Villa from the corner. That's how I picture a goalkeeper rooted to the spot. Like
I picture Cristiano Ronaldo free kick against Portsmouth. David James just kind of looking up.
Yeah. Another one like that. Yeah. So, and I think they've got their time and place. Goalkeepers rooted to the spot. You're right. They do. But I also think curling efforts look better if it beats a fully stretched out goalkeeper, even if he has got T-Rex arms.
Oh, what he won out to in?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're never getting it because it's going around you. Oh, you never get it, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
That's the Everton Burnley game covered.
yeah. I love our tangents though. That's what makes our podcast great because it's just us chatting about it. So. Yeah,
Burnley in their way to safety. Everton, I think again, will be a struggle for. Would you have Dominic Calvert-Lewin in England squad?
Yes, I would. Yeah. I would take him. I think he's had a great season. I think he's proven he can score goals when there's good supply to him. And I think it gives an option. If you get a game where you can rest Kane, I think he's the most like-for-like striker. I'm not saying they're identical, but I think he will give you the work ethic of Kane. He can finish like Kane, although not as regularly. He can win the ball in the air. He can drop off.
That's why I like the difference. That he's... Like Kane and Calvert-Lewin are similar heights, but Calvert-Lewin's just a beast in the air. Offering that different, like late on, someone who can just climb and probably accidentally push some of the defenders back, and so the goal gets ruled out. Yeah, we've been there before. Like,
I think the thing with Everton that gets me is that their goal was, I found it quite a pleasing goal to watch. Work down the right hand side, good cross in from Tom Davies, like a good little bit of pace from him, good jink. Good cross, good movement, great header. And it's sort of like, why can't they do that consistently? Like, and then it's like you're saying, it's the mobility of the players, because Tom Davies is another one who I don't think shouldn't really be in the Premier League. I don't think, or if he's a backup, he's sort of like a Fabian Delph Mark II, Tom Davies. Yeah. And I think it's just Everton annoy me because they should be better. They should be consistent. Great manager, some really good players, and it's just the sort of step down from their top players which lets them down as a team. And that's it's like tennis, isn't it? You're only as good as your second serve. They're only as good as their like second string players.
Second string, so,
yeah,
nice.
Annoys me. Is James Rodriguez going to be at Everton next season? Do we know? I think it's a 1-year loan. I think it's a
I thought it was a permanent signing.
Was it? Oh, okay.
Was it on free? I thought.
All right. Well, let's have a quick Google of that.
I'm almost certain of it because there's all that talk about how much Everton paid for it.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. It is. He went on loan to Bayern, didn't he? And then they got him on a free. Yeah. So yes.
Yeah. Again, like, that's another one. He's not incredibly mobile. He's like the kind of Rafael van der Vaart. He's kind of like, he's technically amazing, but makes up for it with how technically good he is. But yeah, not incredibly mobile. But it's been a bit of I think probably hoped more from James after his start. You know, we had a fantastic opening game against Spurs. Injuries and a little bit out of form in the winter, but I think he'll probably. He's still not young. He's going to be 30 in the summer.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. Yeah. So.
All right. We'll just quickly then go on to the Andy Cole derby. Fulham v Man City.
Andrew Cole, please. Andrew Cole.
Sorry, yes. So. Yeah. Defensive mistakes actually summed up this one, which has been not a theme of Fulham's time over the past kind of 10, 12 games.
Yeah, again, it's a game, it was on so early in the morning, my time, is that I woke up and saw 3-0 Man City, and I was like, that's a, comprehensive Man City win. But then I watched the highlights, and it was sort of like, John Stones' goal was nice, but the other two, completely avoidable. I mean, Adebayo, I can never pronounce it.
Adebayo, yeah.
Like, the dallying on the ball and then giving away a penalty is such a rookie mistake, and he's been a centre-back for them for nearly a whole season in the Premier League.
Yeah, honestly, I've really enjoyed that centre-back partnership. I would take Joachim Anderson at Spurs. He looks like a ready-made Toby Alderweireld replacement. His long-range passing is phenomenal. He was made captain of Fulham, like, I don't know, probably after about a week of being there. Similar to like Harry Maguire at United. He looks like a real talent. See, on loan from Lyon.
Not like Harry Maguire at Man United.
Not like Harry Maguire. But link it back to Harry Maguire, talking about centre-backs. John Stones obviously scored. It looks like we're heading towards a John Stones-Harry Maguire partnership for England at Euros, but it's not going to work out, is it?
No, it's not. And I'm sitting here shaking my head for those that are listening on Spotify. And I think it pains me to say it, but I wanted a John Stones and Joe Gomez centre-back partnership just for the mobility of it. I don't think we need a centre-back that's just good in the air now. I think, even Harry Maguire's questionable at that, but it's not going to work, and we're going to go in with such positivity because John Stones has had such a good second half of the season. It's just, I don't think it's going to work. We might go 3 at the back.
That'd be a shame going 3 at the back because we'll be
limiting up front. We're limiting
compensating the bad centre backs when we'll have to take away someone who's better higher up the pitch. So
yeah, I agree. It's annoying. Yeah. So
Aguero getting his first goal of the season.
Yeah, thankfully, because I spent £18 million on him in my fantasy football auction. So
at the start of the season.
Yeah, at the start of the season. Yeah, I spent £18 million on him in our auction bid, and he's got me 1 goal. No assists, 1 goal. Brilliant. What a return.
Pretty impressive.
So
impressive. Yeah. Bit of a shame for him. I mean, is this going to be his out? Is it? I mean, rumours of Barcelona calling. Yeah. His contract's out at the end of the season. Is he going to renew? I don't normally renew these players' contracts.
I think they're going to renew it. I think sentimental and the fact that he can still score goals, I think they'll renew it. If he's not playing at Man City, why do Barcelona want him? He's not going to get into Barcelona's first team. You're just going to hinder a youngster coming through.
He's a bit younger than the other players have been, but I mean, I don't know what this injury has been like, but I would be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if an Aguero out, Haaland in.
Yeah, but then I could see them giving Aguero a 1-year contract, selling Gabriel Jesus and bringing Haaland in, and just telling Aguero he's playing back up to Haaland.
Yeah, that'll go down well.
Well, it's going to be the same as Jesus, isn't it? It's not going to go down well for Jesus, waiting for his moment.
Jesus is a step down from Aguero. Aguero is the main man.
Yeah, but he's not, is he? They've done it without him this season. He scored 1 goal.
He would have been the main man if he wasn't injured. It's not like he's been dropped.
Well, yeah, but That plays into
I would
the fact.
agree. I agree with everything you said until you said tell Aguero's not going to be the main man. I think so. You'd say you
okay.
play together, but I'd say
Yeah.
the option would be Jesus. I don't see being. I'd cut my losses on Jesus. I don't know where he'd actually end up.
No, but that's the thing. I think someone would pay big money for him. Someone out there with stupid amounts of cash during this COVID time, or even not that much cash during what's happened in the football industry. I think someone would pay 40 million for Gabriel Jesus and take that punt.
Barcelona will. If you want a stupid big money purchase, go to Barcelona.
Well, yeah, something like that. Yeah, and I think I don't agree with it, but it's what I think could happen. Yeah.
All right. Man City tying up the league. Then you got 17 points ahead of you. 2 games in hand. It's a matter of when, not if. Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, when, not if. I think we obviously stalled it with our win. But it's when, not if. And I think they're looking so fluid and efficient now that it's a foregone conclusion. And you just sort of hope that something happens to them so they don't take this form into next season and it's a bit more of a battle. There's someone that can challenge
we have the retention of trophies being a tough one. So
true. Yeah, very true.
All right, should we go to quickly preview the upcoming matches? We've got Southampton, Brighton.
Southampton win for me. I'm saying piling on the pressure, piling on the misery for Brighton.
Ooh, I don't know. Southampton have been a bit of a Liverpool light, really. They started really well and they just completely faded away. Then grabbed a win against Sheffield United, and I think I'll fall back into losing ways. I think Brighton. I think it'll be a draw. I think.
Yeah, I could see a draw, but I think, the big thing, isn't it? Southampton are missing Danny Ings, injured. He's out. Gineppo picked up an injury, and I think he's going to be out as well. You're asking a lot of Shea Adams and Minamino as their main sort of outlets. So, it probably will be a draw, but I'll back my instincts of today anyway, and go a Southampton win. I'm not going to say it'll be pretty, but yeah, I think they might win that one. So Leicester and managerless Sheffield United.
Oh, surely it's pretty standard, isn't it?
Routine Leicester win. Yeah.
Routine Leicester win. You thought, yeah.
So I don't think they've got any major injuries. Or is Johnny Evans back, or is he might still be out actually?
Don't know actually. Yeah, that's been a bit of a loss for him.
Yeah.
But Leicester have stumbled a little bit. But I just can't see. I can't see that being a win for Sheffield United now.
No,
Leicester win.
Can I? Okay, the big one then. The big match. An informed Gareth Bale versus Arsenal.
Oh, you'd love to see it, wouldn't you?
Spurs win. I'm going Spurs win.
Yeah?
Yeah, Spurs win 2-1, 3-1, and it will be comfortable. I think Arsenal's goal will be sort of against the run of play. No, in fact, I'm going to put some money on a Spurs to win by -1 or -2. Is that right?
-2 would mean 3 goals, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, so I'll go -1, yeah, like a 3-1 win. I might just put Spurs 3-1, yeah. So
I obviously hope for a Spurs win. I think
you don't have my confidence, clearly.
Don't have your confidence, no. But I think we've been really good of late. It's been quite relieving to see. But I can definitely see us winning this. I'd be surprised if we lose this. I think a kind of double chance on Spurs would be
yeah. I mean, it's all dependent on what Arsenal turn up, isn't it? Because you can have the really crap Arsenal, or you could have the fluid, unbelievably good Arsenal that beat Benfica. Was it Benfica or Panathinaikos in the second leg? Just basically steamrolled.
They've beaten Benfica and beaten Olympiacos.
Yeah. So
but the Benfica win was touch and go. That was like one of the last minute.
Yeah, but I think like you can get that. That team can turn up, and they'll give you more of a challenge than the teams that have been steamrolled by others. But I think you're hitting good form. I think you're going to do really well. I don't think they'll be able to handle Kane, Bale, Son. They're still shoddy at the back, Arsenal. So I think they're improving. Don't get me wrong, but I think they're easy.
The Spurs beating on the counter attack at home. I think it's going to be more chance we can beat them on the counter attack away. So I'll be really interested to see how Arsenal line up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, very true.
United West Ham.
Do you know what? I'm not confident. I should be. I feel like I should be confident. After the back of Man City, the Milan
that's
game.
what you do. That's what you do.
I know. That's why I can't be confident. Is because that's what we do. But West Ham are now a team that are up there and around us, which means technically we should do it against them again. It's not like West Ham down in 19th and 18th and 17th where we struggle against breaking teams down. But
Moyes knows that. Moyes will set. I think. I think West Ham get something out of this, but I think you might house your way to a late win or something like that.
Moyes has never had a good record against United since he left them.
Is he not? Okay.
No, he previously did before he moved to the United job, and since I don't think he's had a very good record. Rashford. The rumour is Rashford's going to miss out. Cavani's still out. Martial picked up an injury against Milan, so it looks like Diallo's going to be chucked into the first team.
Really?
Yeah, I mean it's. My worry is that we start Diallo and James and put Greenwood through the middle. I don't mind Greenwood through the middle, that's fine. But I think playing Diallo and James, it's two very similar wingers that are both lightweight. But Diallo might prove me wrong. I think Diallo's going to be good, but...
I presume this mismatch, who's been outstanding for them, Lingard can't play?
He can't play, ineligible because it's loan. So against Premier League rules.
I imagine that's going to be a bit of a loss. He's been excellent for them.
Yeah, okay. And they're also missing Ogbonna as well, which is... He's been pretty solid for them.
Yeah, but they've done well defensively. There's been a few games without him, and Craig Dawson's come in and done excellent this season.
Yeah.
So
yeah, out of bloody nowhere. So
yeah, Wolves v Liverpool Monday night's match. Diego Jota to come back and haunt Wolves, or
I think
Wolves
so.
To pile up victory? You think Liverpool to win?
I think Liverpool to win. I think Wolves are sort of.
I don't know. I've got a feeling Wolves can get something out of this. They've turned a little bit of a corner. They've done a little bit better, and
it could be a draw, but I think if someone's going to win it, I'll go Liverpool. Yeah, I'll go Liverpool. So, yeah. All right. Excellent. Nice. Oh, we've got some predictions in chat as well. We've got to quickly go through them. Southampton 0, Brighton 0. I can see that happening, definitely.
I've just seen the lineups here. You've got Teller and Adams up front, Minamino on the wing. So it's not reeking goals with Welbeck and Mope up front. That side does not reek goals.
No. Leicester 3, Sheffield United 0. I could see that. Arsenal, Spurs, not applicable because obviously Spurs fan Ross. And then Man United 7, West Ham 0. I'll take that. Yes, please. I will take that. Right, let's move on, Josh. We'll move on to I got a wiki file for you. Hey, so on the screen is Josh's wiki file. So if you see it, say it.
Oh my goodness! Right, so we start in 1992. No youth career to mention. 92 to 97, 5 years in Holland. FC Volendam, 125 appearances, 2 goals. We then get our Premier League move. 3 years at Leeds United, 97 to 2000. 51 appearances, 5 goals. 3 years then at Bradford City. Moved from Leeds to Bradford. Loves the area. Obviously, Leeds and Bradford are very close to each other. 3 years there, 71 appearances, 2 goals. Bookends his career. 4 years. Back to Holland, I'm presuming, at RBC Roosendaal. 68 appearances. 6 goals. Quite a tidy little career for, I presume, a defender / midfielder. 315 appearances, 15 goals.
So I'm going to preempt, just while Josh is having a little think there, I'm going to preempt this with, I warned Josh, I said, I think this is the hardest wiki file I've ever sent you. Do you agree with that statement?
It's hard. I've not got anything in my head. I'm going to chuck a name out there. I don't think it's right. I think it's too late. Robert Molinar.
You are such an annoying little piece of work, you are. It's Robert Molinar. How have you done that? How have you done that with that information?
That is so fortuitous because a couple of weeks ago, this picture was shared on a WhatsApp group and I didn't know who it was. And so I went to have a look and it's Robert Molinar. And I started reading about him.
You little cheeky git. As if you've got other people sharing wiki files with you. I'm not happy about that.
No, that was like sharing a panini sticker, that was. And I didn't know what he looked like.
Unbelievable.
The Terminator.
The Terminator. That was going to be my personal information as well.
I'm ruining it all day.
Nickname the Terminator. Blimey hell.
Yeah, and do you know what? I'll tweet it out. There's a clip, highlights of a match where it's just great 90s football. He's at Leeds. I think it might be against, who is it against? Like Leicester or something like that? Oh, it's Blackburn. And it's just, he's at fault for a couple of goals. It's just, there's Harry Kewell playing. It's just really lovely, nostalgic kind of 5 minutes of football.
I mean, he loves FC Volendam. He's been player there. He's managed them. He's been a youth manager there. He is, and then he ended his managerial career out in, I want to say that's Australia, but Almere in Flevoland in Belgium. So, in Belgium, in Holland. Sorry. So, yeah, he's he loves his home city, loves his hometown.
So, what made Robert Molinar come to?
Do you know what? I googled obscure Premier League footballers, and he was top of the list. And I was like, I've completely forgotten about Robert Molinar.
I thought we were going to say, because we obviously had the South African link the other week about Lucas Radebe, didn't we?
Oh, we did, yeah. That was.
And would they have been centre back partners? I'm not sure.
I think they probably would have been, yeah, at some point. I think they probably would have been. So, yeah, there you go. You've ruined it. So Robert Molinar, he's nailed it. He threw a name out there. What an absolute bell piece.
Well, let's go back to the quiz then, Dave, where you were faring less favourably.
Yeah.
So this is the quiz where Dave had to name where players had come from. So I gave a list of 10 current Premier League players, and I want to tell Dave tell me what club they'd signed for. He'd correctly guessed that Jack Cork was signed from Swansea, Joe Linton was signed from Hoffenheim, Eric Lamela from Roma, and Willy Bolly from Porto, but could not name me where Granit Xhaka, Cesar Azpilicueta, Scott Dan, Andre Gomez, Yuri Tillemans, or Sergio Romero was signed from. He incorrectly guessed a number of those. But so he'll be in for half points. He needs 2 answers correct to pass this. Otherwise, he fails. What have you got, Dave? Number 1, Granit Xhaka. You mentioned Bundesliga, but have you had any thoughts on which Bundy side?
I'm going to do... I mean, it worked really well for Willy Bolly.
You've got 2 guesses here, because you said I'll come back to that one. So you can still get this right and get the full marks.
Okay. So basically I get 2 goes at a scattergun approach, and I'm trying to picture in what shirt it was.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can rule out all the big clubs. I know it's not Dortmund, Munich, and I know he didn't wear blue. So that's Hamburg, Hoffenheim, Hertha. I think it was like a red. Was it red and white or black and white? I can picture him in like Europa League or something before he signed for Arsenal. I'm going to go first off. I'm going to go Augsburg.
Incorrect.
Okay, I'll have my second guess at thinking Europa League. I'm going to go Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Correct.
Get in. Come on. Right,
5 more answers. You need half points. So we've got Cesar Azpilicueta. What you got?
What did I say before? I said Real Sociedad, didn't I?
You did. Yep.
I'm going to go... Again, stab in the dark. I'm going to go Athletic Bilbao.
Incorrect. It was actually a French club. It was Marseille.
Oh, well, there you go. I was well off.
Scott Dan. We mentioned the relegator. I mentioned Birmingham City as your first guest. What have you got for me? Wolves. Incorrect. Blackburn Rovers.
Blackburn? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes.
I just assumed that, if you got relegated with Birmingham, you'd also been relegated with Wolves. That's generally how it works for centre-backs. So.
Andre Gomez, did you mention Benfica?
I said Benfica, so obviously I'm going to go Sporting Lisbon.
No, he had made a Spanish move, big club, Barcelona.
Oh, how did I forget that?
Pressure's building here, 2 left, still needs an answer. Has he got anything in the bag? Anything in the locker? Yuri Tillemans, you mentioned Anderlecht, which I think is correct for his youth career, maybe his initial senior club, but he's moved somewhere since then.
Can I go out a turn and go to 7 first and wrap up the 50%?
Go to 7 first. You want to wrap up the 50%?
Yeah.
Sergio Romero, you mentioned Lazio. You thought it was Serie A. What are you going for?
Sampdoria.
And
I knew that. It was up here. Because he was Sampdoria and went on loan to Monaco, and we signed him after his loan at Monaco.
Okay. All right. So ties in nicely then to Yuri Tillemans. You've passed
Monaco.
Off. There you go. 55%, Dave.
55% is a pass. Pass, right?
That is a pass. I mean, I feel like I should adjust that because I feel like you should fail that emphatically.
I feel like you should fail that.
I didn't. Passed with flying colours, Robert Molinar.
Can't believe you got Robert Molinar. I'm so annoyed by that.
Dave was so happy. There's like little squeaks of noise coming from him before. Like, you've got the hardest one ever.
Yeah,
right.
I know.
It was fortuitous. If it hadn't have been for my friend Dan Roberts sharing a picture of Robert Molinar a few weeks back, I would have been none the wiser.
Damn you, Dan.
Because I
Damn
don't
you.
even remember him as a person.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought when I googled obscure Premier League footballers.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well.
Unbelievable. So, well, I think that brings an end to it, doesn't it, for today? So,
I think so.
Yeah, I think it brings an end and we're done. Thank you so much for watching. If you've been with us on YouTube, if you're listening on Spotify, thank you very much. And it's been a pleasure to have you with us once again. Thanks for your questions, comments, and answering the questions in the quiz and the Wikifile. No one got the Wikifile in the comments, but we did have lots of good answers for the quiz as it came back round. So that was very good indeed. If you want to get hold of us before next week's show, you can. You can find us on Twitter @FootballTalk. But remember,
there's no A in football.
no in football. So thank you so much for watching. But for now, we're out. Cheers.